Hello, welcome back. I'm here with Al Martinez, a master creator. Al, great to have you here today.
Thank you.
It's good to talk to you again. I would love to hear some about what you're doing artistically and what you've done artistically. What are you working on right now?
Well,
Projects.
Currently, I've gotten back into doing things by hand.
Okay.
And basically, the reason I've done that is because my life has a tendency to get a bit busy. And so sometimes doing things by hand sort of calms me down.
Good.
And it also feeds my soul. So what I've recently sort of gotten smitten with is making spoons by hand.
Really?
And so I noticed a couple people on Pinterest there was one lady who she makes what they call carving axes, and they're specifically for making spoons and bowls by hand. And that's the kind of stuff that really sort of strikes my
And
interest.
they're wooden? You're making...
Yes. Yes.
And is there a particular kind of wood that you like to use?
Well, not necessarily, because what I've been doing is I've been collecting wood, and I've asked the gardeners when they come to prune the trees, I said, can I have those branches? And sometimes it's things like decorative prune or things like that. And I've gotten cherry wood from other people. And a friend of mine had an apple tree in her backyard that was rotting, and I spotted it, and I said, what are you doing with those? So I took those, and that's the other thing that I enjoy, is I enjoy recycling things that people discard.
Okay.
So I do a lot of recycling, and making spoons from wood is probably the easiest and most enjoyable element of recycling, because a lot of the wood that gets pruned either gets burned or gets thrown
Chipped
away.
or something, yeah.
Yeah, so it's something. So that's something that really spoke to me, and I've made a device called a spoon mule, which is a device that you sit in, and this device holds a spoon, and you use tools to shape it.
Oh, okay.
Or you use your hatchet to carve them out by hand, and that's what's really interested me right now. But I've been through a lot of different things. I was a puppet and prop maker for about 28 years, and that was one of my other joys, is doing things, creating things that were sort of fantasy. So in a lot of the shows that I've done, I've been making things like magic daggers and thrones for queens.
I love that.
Things like that, things that normally you wouldn't see in your life.
So I know that you've done some work here at Nevada County Media. There's some of your work here. What are some of the things that you've done here?
One of the things, when I first joined, because I'm sort of retired and on a very tight budget, I sort of made a deal with Ramona and said, well, how about if I volunteer and I do the fireplace in the foyer?
Oh, right, yeah.
So she's been wanting to create this fake stone fireplace, and I thought, I can do that.
It looks great.
Thank you. So, and the wood that I use is the plywood that is being discarded from a company that gets polycarbonate, and they have these giant spools. And the plywood that the spools are made of, they just throw them away.
Oh, okay.
And I saw that and I said, I'll take that. So I took that and I basically just carved these rocks to look like rocks.
Yeah, it really looks like rocks. It looks like a stone fireplace. It's great.
Well, the other thing I want to say is that when I was making puppets and props, one of the things that I enjoyed doing is becoming part of that realm. Okay? So if I'm making stone fireplaces, I imagine what it would be like to carve stone, and what kind of stones they would look like and how they would be shaped and put together to make a fireplace. And I've done that sort of with kind of everything that I do. When I'm blacksmithing and I'm making ceremonial daggers, I imagine myself as the alchemist.
Wow.
Okay, and the alchemists, they've come to you and they said, we want you to create this magic dagger, and this magic dagger is going to be used to create a certain type of energy. So that's the role that I play. And the other thing is my time portals, which are in the foyer out there. The time portals that I've made for people to experience a different culture and a different place and time.
Wow, that's fantastic. Can we see any of your other work around in the area? Are there places that we can see your work?
Not really,
Not really?
because I've sold basically primarily to the public,
Okay.
and so a lot of the pieces are in different homes.
In homes, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
And do you teach any classes or prop
I
making or
haven't.
set
I haven't
building or-
recently. I taught a few classes in metalsmithing, and
great.
there's a technique called repoussé, which I've taught locally here for a couple of years ago. I've taught a couple classes in bookbinding.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
You kind of are a jack of all trades. You do all kinds
Yeah.
of things. And this is my favorite thing about Al. He worked on the Sydney Olympics. Remember, you were sharing that with me. I thought that was
Yeah.
really
Sydney
spectacular.
2000 Olympics.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So we have an Olympian in town. I love that. Throwing your javelin or whatever it is that you're doing. So where can we learn more about you? If someone is interested in getting a piece from you, how can they get in touch with you or meet with you or find out about having a piece of yours?
Well, if they're associated with Nevada County Media Center,
Okay.
I have business cards in the
Oh,
foyer.
great. Okay.
On the wall, there's all my work.
That's fantastic. Well, I love your work, and I
you.
enjoy talking to you about your work. So we're just glad to have you here today, Al. Keep creating. I can't wait to see what you come up with next. And there's a lot more to come, so please stay tuned. And thanks again, Al, for being
My
with us.
pleasure.
We appreciate it. Mine too.
Thank you to Stiefel Financial, proudly helping individuals pursue financial goals, businesses and organizations raise and protect capital, and communities offer a higher quality of life. To learn more, visit www.stiefel.com.